it's MK and I am back for another day of April Fooled You, and I also have a Take Out Your Tools Tuesday. I know I missed last week and I really apologize about that, but this week's focus is on the image stamps, and because of all the other product that I picked out, I chose these two poppy-ish flowers. Well, this one actually calls it poppies, but I think these are kind of sort of the same thing. One is from Altenew and the other one is from Stampin' Up. And this is what the Stampin' Up ones look like. They are rubber mounted stamps, and then they've got the cling sticker that allows me to use my clear blocks. So the sketch that we are going to pull the inspiration from is this one right here, off of the Scrapping Reflections Facebook group. Okay, if you go in and check out the album, that is April's 100 day, but it's not really 100 sketches. It's just April 1 through, I think it's 30 sketches in there. And so you'll find all of the sketches, not one posted every day. So I think that that is amazing and awesome, and you can pick, you know, whatever sketch you want to play with. And this one, I believe, is from day 5. Okay, I'm not sure if is Tuesday day 5? Nope, Tuesday's the 6th. Sorry. So anyways, what do I have and what do I need to still do? So of the 5 things that I chose, so I'm playing along with She's Crafty's Lucky 7 class as well, and I picked out my 5, and then I have to roll the dice because it's a brand new week, but I didn't want to roll it. So at first I rolled it off camera, and then I thought, well, what if they think that I'm just picking what I want to work with? Not that I am that way, but you know, it happens, right? So I wanted to roll the dice right here so you guys get to see what I pick, and what I'm going to do is starting off from today, which was actually supposed to be yesterday, and I apologize, I kind of got off on my videos just a hair. So I did 3 days of rolling a 5 and a 6, and then I'll finish out the rest of the week with whatever I roll right now. And then starting on Sundays, not Tuesdays, starting on Sundays, I will re-roll the dice and actually set it up for Monday through Sunday. Okay, that's how that is supposed to work. So the 5 things that I have is mini paper pad. So out of the mini paper pad, I had these little papers. Now this wasn't an actual pad, but these were little samples that were sent to me. I think it was, if I bought something specific, then I got a sample of all the brand new papers that came out in a spring catalog from Stampin' Up. And then I also have a Vicki Boutin foundation paper. So this is just white. There's no color. All these little thingies, that's just the cover. I haven't even opened it. So they're all just white inside. Okay. So I picked out those as my pattern paper, or my mini pad. I also went and fussy cut this one pad, or this one piece of paper out already. So I did that prior, so you guys didn't have to see me do that. For pocket cards, close to my heart a long time ago, and I picked out some acetate ones too that just say happy and hello. But close to my heart a while ago had these watercolor ones. Look, they're blank. They had these watercolor cards. So these are watercolor paper, and they have embossed images. Can you see that? This one says amazing. There it is. And so you basically watercolor these to get the image to show up. I've never been good at it, so I thought, hey, I'll practice on these, and if I like them, I'll use them. If I don't, hey, I get to throw them away because I used them. That's kind of my thing. And then next is mixed media. So what I brought in for mixed media is my liquid watercolors. I have a few Vicki Boutin, and then I have, what are these called? Are these all a Vicki? Nope. I'm not really sure. Pinelli? I don't know. To be honest, They were a gift. The Vicky Bouton ones I got in a kit, and then everything else was a gift. And then I have this little tray that I've never used sitting inside here because I don't know what else to do with it so it doesn't get lost. And then for the blisters, nope, doilies. I keep forgetting the doilies. I brought in these blackish gray, sorry for the glare, there we go. These blackish gray doilies because I thought that it went well with the black outlines in my pattern paper. And then the blisters, since I'm so excited to talk about them, yeah, are these really old, well for me they're old because I bought them when they first came out and I went hog crazy. I don't know why. I have 3 boxes of these, you guys. It's a shame. And the more I look at them, the more I'm like, hang on, got it. Oh my god. The more I look at them, the more I'm like, Jiminy Christmas, that's like 2 inches thick. Look at that. What am I going to use that for? Holy cow. So I'm going to show you guys how I plan on using these blisters because it won't be on my project, but it will be with my project. Is that fair? I still use them. So anyways, that is that. And then I have my 2 dice. So I'm going to roll the dice and see exactly what it is that I will be getting to add. So here's my list for dice 1 and dice 2, or die 1 and die 2. And again, I get to choose whether or not, like if I roll a 1, then I have a choice between wood veneer and washi. You know, and if I roll a 4, then it's sequins and cut files. Okay, so let's see what it is. Let's see what I get. Oh my god, I got 2 1s. I got snake eyes. So I got wood veneer and washi. All right, so honestly, I really wanted the washi, but I wanted it to be fair and I wanted to roll the dice in front of you guys. I really, really was hoping to get washi because with this paper pad, I had a few embellishments, but they always seem like too small. Like Stampin' Up! Stuff always seems too small, so I always rely on the stamps. And it's a lot of work to get the embellishments, but Altenew has this really cool, they call it a vibrant spray die cut tape. All right, and I brought it out, but I didn't want to show it to you guys because, oh my god, I have opened this, I swear. There we go. I brought it out because it's borderline washi tape. All right, it's not washi. It is a sticker that is like 642 feet long. But in all, I swear I've used this before. Apparently I'm calling myself a liar. But in reality, it's not washi, but I'm treating it as such because it matches the project that I wanted to do really super bad. But I didn't bring it out because I wanted to see if I rolled a 1. Honestly, I'm just being fair, you guys. Yeah, I'm a sticking to the rules. I also have this really cool washi as well. This one I have opened but never used. I kind of sort of got a little cranky with it. And it's this grid washi. Okay, super uber cool. Okay, and there happens to be a grid in the sketch. Now, I do have to say that if I use this, then I probably won't use these because to me, in my brain, they're kind of sort of similar. Not exact, but similar too. Okay, so I'm just kind of sort of trying to figure out, you know, I'll look at it, but I probably won't use those if I use this. So for wood veneer, yay! Let me go get them because I never actually pulled any out, right? So this is my big old huge box of like bulky stuff that I don't know where to put anywhere else. Here we go. Let me move this stuff. I want to talk about those inks too in just a few minutes as well. Yay! So I probably won't use my snowflakes. I've got leaves, but I have enough leaves going on. Yep, this is what I'll use. So I have these teeny tiny little flowers, and look at how many I have all over the place. So this is what I'm going to use. I don't think my gears would have worked. Well, actually they probably would have. I probably could have come up with something. It's not stars, it's not arrows, it's not hexies. I also have like little creatures somewhere. Definitely not hearts. And then my butterflies, which I thought I had. Yeah, this is my butterfly one. Aren't you proud of me, Sandy? It's my butterfly bin. So, yeah, I think I'm going to stick with those. I thought I had like little woodland creature bits going on, but I don't see them. I must have destashed the little woodland creatures. I must have, because I can't imagine me using those. So, anyways, the little flowers are what I'm going to do. I might paint them to change them colors. Sorry, I'm a kind of a one-tracked kind of person. Anyways, I also wanted to talk to you guys about my 3 black inks that I own. I also own, I think, a close to my heart one too, somewhere. I'm not sure. But I own 3 black inks. And it's Memento Archival ink, and then Obsidian Pigment ink. And I cannot ever remember which one I can use with watercolor. I never can. It seems to me like this one here says waterproof. I stamp it, and then as soon as I put something on it, now the black bleeds. I'm not sure. It might just be the oxide doing that. I don't know. So I'm going to test all 3 of these on one of my Vicki Boutin sheets, because this is the medium that I will be using, so I'll sacrifice a sheet. And then I think what I'm going to end up doing is taking that sheet and actually like using it as a reference, so that way I can remember which one. I've never wrote it down before, and I've never done, you know, like a swatch of, okay, my tuxedo black does this, my archival does that, and my Altenew does that. I have no intention of gessoing this. That's what she is famous for on her media paper, is that you don't need any of that stuff, and it's uber super thick, like cardboard thick. And these are the 2 brushes that I got just because I could. What else? I think that's it. Oh, my mood board. My mood board, I went back to this photo right here of the flowers. As soon as I saw, actually it was probably, I want to say it was this paper right here that wanted me to do, or that inspired me to play with these papers, was that stripe right there. And you know, you got the little rain boots in here and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure what I'll be doing, but I have my sketch, I have my supplies all scattered out around me now, yay. And I have my washi tape, and my wood veneer is what I will be playing with all week long, or for the rest of the week. All right. Let's get going. The first thing that I'm going to do is stamp out all my black inks, because honestly, guys, I cannot remember. Now, I know it has to do with something about pigment ink and dye ink and all that stuff, but in my brain, no matter how many times it's told to me, I can't remember. So this is a good project for me to do. Plus, I can see the intensity of each ink. Now, the archival one seemed a little bit on the dry side. Now, I don't know if it's because I did not pull out my little squishy mat before I did this, or if it's just on the dry side. So all I did was just use water, and I ran it through, and the Altenew one, I couldn't tell if it bled or not. So I decided to show you guys a little close up. The Memento, yeah, it's a no-go. But the intensity went from archival to Memento to Altenew. And Altenew was the, oh my gosh, blackest of the black. I did not even have to double stamp, honestly. So that's what I chose to do. based on the fact that it didn't bleed and it was the most intense in color. So I stamped all my flowers, I stamped all my leaves, I took them over to my Scan and cut them out. And yes, it does cut on the Vicki Boutin watercolor paper. Had no problem whatsoever. Now I am swatching the colors that I picked out because the tubes look one color and then they came out another color, especially that bright pink one. It looked like a really dark red. Yep. And when it first came out of the bottle, I was like, ooh, that's kind of dark. And then I brought it in and it was pink. So I am glad that I did these little color swatches, just to be sure, just to on the, like, thank goodness I did this because I didn't want to, go to painting and it's the wrong color. My black one just exploded on me. Yep, that's what it did. It just totally blew up in my face. It was under so much pressure that I put too much in my little cup or anything. So here's how I'm using my blisters. I am using them as little ink wells. I thought it was a good idea at the time, but when I went to go and blend colors, it kind of sort of wasn't that good of an idea because I had to keep pulling out new ones in order to, get a different color, that sort of thing. I also really love that harsh line when watercolor dries. So I constantly kept drying and then moving my paint and then drying and moving my paint because I wanted that harsh line all over these flowers. I thought it gave a lot of texture. Also too, I haven't swatched any of these colors because I absolutely hate piercing my ink. I won't do it until I absolutely need to use it. So I have not swatched any of these colors to see what the true color is on what paper. That's all honesty. I absolutely hate when I first pop it open and I get that gush like that black one did. Not all of them do that, but a few of them do. And I even try my hardest not to squeeze the tube. But for some reason, a couple of them, I think it was that dark blue one, I couldn't get the lid to poke it open. So yeah, it's interesting. Let's just say that. And my black, I just refused to squeeze out any more red. I just felt like I was going to waste the red and I only had so many flowers to do. So that little well that looks totally black, I just kind of left it. And what I basically did was I put it on my flower and then I brought in the red from the well that is just red instead. And I was trying to get an intense red instead of, the pastel red. And then I moved on to my leaves. I finally got the colors that I wanted, ish. They work. And then I just moved on to my leaves. I used the True Colors first before I started mixing colors. And then this little tealy blue I thought was perfect because it's in the Altenew color. I don't know. It's like a sprig washi tape. So this is where I got my color palette, was from that washi tape. It kind of was from the paper pad, but it was more from the washi tape. And I found out that if I put too much heat on it, it was going to melt. So FYI. And then I absolutely enjoyed coloring these watercolor cards, you guys. I thought that I was going to mess them up for sure, but I had a blast doing it. Now, this one that says, "Oh, hey," I did have to play with quite a bit. And then, of course, I get to talking and but once I moved the color around and kept cleaning off the "Oh, hey," I was able to move the color around the words and get it as intense or not as intense. And then I mopped up the color that I had left over from that card with this chevron card. Now, I don't actually end up using this chevron card, but it was fun to play with. And I do love the colors that I did. And I thought I took out all of my heat gun, especially this one where the heat gun's not even on, but I'm talking. My husband just got home from his goose hunt and I think he misses me, to be honest. And then I tried to watercolor just using what was left in my inkwells. These little, they were a pain. I gave up. It was really, I had to hold each one with my little tweezers and I was like, no, I'm good. Spritz. And that's the end of it. I spritzed it. I moved them all onto, a paper towel so they could all have a chance to dry, because if I would have left them on my messy mat, the messy mat underneath them was wet. So then I would have had to wait for both sides to dry. Yep. So I divvied up my little grid paper, and basically that's what determined how many of these I was going to make. Is I took the very smallest size that I had and basically took all the others that I painted and divided them in half. And that was the size that everything was going to be. And then I took my my floral, this piece right here that I'm cutting up, I took that and found a spot in the sticker or whatever it's called, and that looked like it was at a stopping point, basically. I do fussy cut all of these around. I thought that the white edge was too thick, but I don't make you guys watch. I only do 2 because there's 2 different styles that I do, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to take my little fussy cut pieces and I'm going to use some here and there. And I pull out my Tim Holtz little chipboard words again, and I almost forgot my tag. Yep, I almost forgot that I was going to use a tag. I do rip off the thicker portion of the chipboard. I only keep like the word piece, just kind of like the last time too. And I do use these cutouts that I do, the little cut apart sheet that I fussy cut. I use those throughout every single one of my embellishments. I also glue things together when I forgot that it was a sticker. So I glued things to the back of a sticker, and I'll have to fix that when I go to use these on a project. Yep. And I decided that I was going to take my tag and actually put a hole in it and some twine. I thought that that would be a little bit of texture added to all of this. Instead of a doily, I took out the doily portion and I used this like swirly dye. Because I just thought that it was needed. The flowers represent the 2 little photos that are next to the grid in the sketch. And then the circle bit represents the larger photo, and then the tag represents the tag. So that's basically all, where I got my elements from, what made me decide what those elements were going to be. So again, this is just the second one that I'm fussy cutting. I thought it was different. I thought I was fussy cutting the other style that I cut off of that strip, but it almost kind of looks, it looks the same. Oh, and then I brought this one back because I forgot the little flowers. I was like, oh, I forgot about those. Yep. I put 2 to 3 on each one. I love how they look and I love how they dry. Now the color that I sprayed them was the Blueprint sketch by Tim Holtz. I love how purpley blue that color really is. So, and then this one I decided was going to be on the side. So I do a whole bunch of vertical and horizontals. And then my very last one totally ends up changing altogether because it was just going to be huge. It was going to be more like a border strip rather than a little cluster. But these ones are quite small. I really do enjoy how small they are. I enjoy adding all of the different elements and the fact that they still look like they coordinate with the sticker border that I'm using. I don't know what it's called. Hang on. Let me get what it says. Vibrant Spray Die Cut Tape. That's what it is. It's tape. And then I wanted to get rid of the stickers, and so I thought that I would add what's it called? Tissue behind them all, and that quickly just went, no, that's too much. I can add so much to a cluster, but that was too much. The fact that I almost got all 7 items on one cluster is like, wow, to be honest. And I don't add a tag to every single one. Oh, I do cut up one of the other clusters. That's this one right here. I'm sorry. I thought that I only cut up 2 because I do know that it is quite a bit to look at considering it's moving so fast. But I do show you guys every single one of my clusters, even though they are kind of sort of all the same. Like, they all have the same elements. They're just a little bit different from each other is basically all that's going on right here. So yeah, and I used the larger words from Tim Holtz's little thing instead of just all the little small ones like I did on the last clusters I used these on. I don't remember what day that was, but that's okay. So, and I like adding the elements in, you know, like I added the smaller flower on top of the sticker tape or the die cut tape. I don't know what it's called. I just read what it was called and I still don't. I didn't retain it. I rip a little bit of the grid paper off as well because I thought that it was kind of cool, you know, to not have it perfectly square. And I do peel back only half of the tape rather than the whole thing. Now here's where I used one of the pocket cards. I didn't use a whole lot of the pocket cards, you guys. Not the ones that I picked out anyways. Well, no, I didn't. None of them. I just basically, they didn't work. Actually, no, I use all of them except for Happy and the chevron. I do use this little leaf that I fussy cut out to glue my hello to my circle bit. And then I'm also using this flower, actually those two flowers, to help hold my acetate piece down as well. So that's that. And then I went ahead and I put my twine. Now this tag here, I accidentally poked the hole a little bit too close to the edge. So I had to be really, really careful putting this thread in, or the twine in the hole. I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to fix it. I just kind of left it there and I was like, well, if it gets glued to the page, you know, I'll just have to remember to glue up at the top. You know, to be honest, you guys, these ones are a little bit too florally for me. So yeah, I don't know what I will be doing with these just yet. And I do end up popping some of the pieces up using foam tape, but not a whole lot. I wanted to keep them relatively flat only because there is quite a bit of, there's a lot going on. In these little clusters, but I love how they turned out. They're bright and cheery, and you know, they go with that photo in the inspiration photo like crazy. I mean, it's almost like it is those baskets of flowers with the orange rain boot or the green rain boots. In all honesty, I got my green circle bits from the green stripes in the 6x6. That is what I did. So, and here I'm just filling in the gaps and bringing them in. I wanted to see, I don't know why I brought that other one in. That was just really weird. Did I forget something? Oh, I forgot my flowers again. And this is where I only bring in, you know, 2 of them in all honesty. I don't remember how many of these I made. Actually, but I do end up, what's it called? Oh, here's where I just disappeared entirely. Go me. Do I come back? I do. I came back. Sorry about that, you guys. Like I said, my husband just got back from his duck hunt and he needed my help every now and then. And so this was a stop and go project, but I love it because it was one of those where I could definitely, you know, stop and pick it up wherever I wanted. I love how, even though I'm using the exact same elements, none of the clusters are identical. Like I didn't make 2 of the clusters the same. Granted, none of the words were the same, but I never looked to see, okay, where did I put those? Where did I put that? You know, so yeah, I love how these come out. And I just said that like 6 times. I'm so sorry. So, and this one I did kind of sort of do exactly the same. I put my flower, I put the same exact fussy cut pieces down, and I put my title exactly in the same spot. But the end pieces aren't the same. Like I don't put the same exact, you know, I didn't have the same flower, I didn't have the same leafy bits, all that stuff. So that's where it changed. Even though some of it's the same, not all of it is. I didn't even count how many of those little blue flowers that I had. I didn't bother counting or seeing if I was going to have enough for every single cluster, but I do end up having exactly the amount that I need for every cluster. Here's where I used one of the cut apart cards. I just took a 2-inch or a 2.5 inch punch, and I punched it out, and it still represented the really awesome watercoloring. It really did. I really liked it. This is where I decided to remember that the grid paper had a sticky back on it as well. And so I was trying to remember to take the sticky back off when I put elements behind the grid paper. I need to do that. I love how the grid paper took the paint and how it dried, because at first it seemed like it was going to resist it. And so it pooled up in some spots, but it dried absolutely perfect. You guys, I love how that looks. So, and yes, I do twist and turn all of these pieces. That one that's kind of at an angle, the flower that's kind of at an angle, I do pop that up on foam. I like the dimension, and it looks like it's in front of everything. But look at how everything kind of blends together. I've got the cut apart cards, I have the die cut tape, and I have my watercolor flowers. And I just felt like they all went together, even though I didn't have that exact red, and my leaves are kind of like not perfect, stuff like that. Here's that second card. Again, it says amazing. They both were, one was horizontal and one was vertical, but since I cut them out of the same punch, you really can't tell. This one ends up becoming huge, like huge, because I loved putting that little flower, the watercolor flower over on the right, because everything seems to be a little left-sided on this one. But I bring it all in using that sideways flower. And I just curved it around the circle bit. I'm not sure where I put that leaf. Oh, I put it down below. Okay, going down the grid instead of across the grid. So yeah, I really liked it, even though it does come out big. So almost done. I have a few more left, that I know for sure. This one I like because it's two words. I picked Genuine Story. And so it's going to have flowers behind the words. Oh, no, it's not. I lied. I thought there was. Oh, there they are. Okay, they're just the small little cut apart flowers. See, I just, half the time I don't remember what I do. So, and I brought a flower over to the right, just to try and bring in, some of that color around the circle instead of everything just being left-sided. It took me a few times, but I did. And I am running out. I believe I have just used up all of the fussy cut pieces. I believe that I am done. So at first I was going to cut every one of those little tapes out at a time, and then I stopped everything and I cut everything. So here's where I decided that this one's not going to be like any of the other. I divided the grid in half-ish, and I put half of it on one side of the floral tape and the other side on the other half. I wasn't measuring the tape. I was actually seeing to make sure if I got it straight across instead of kind of wonky, and I left it the same. So because I had leftover pieces, I decided to fill this cluster up with flowers. I'm just going to put the 2 flowers because the one doesn't look good and Happy didn't match. And there it is. That's it. I am done. This is all of the little clusters. Like I said, I am really happy with how they came out. They're medium sized, you guys. I think they're the perfect size. Add them to the bottom of a photo or to the side of a photo cluster, and I feel like, your layout's done. That's it. Okay, so I appreciate you guys watching me. Be sure to check out Sandy's Facebook group. She has the Facebook group Scrapping Reflections. The link is down below, where all of these sketches are located for the entire month, as well as the mood board. And then She's Crafty. You can go and check out the details of her Lucky 7 class, as well as her mini paper pad class over on her links down below as well. Okay, thank you so very, very much for listening to me just babble on, and I will check y'all tomorrow. Bye.